Yay, cool. So, hello, NG World. Yeah, it's really exciting to be here. I hope you all had a very, very nice day. I hope that you learned a lot of things. I also hope that you remembered a lot of things. I hope that you met extraordinary people. I hope that you were inspired. I hope that you're taking a lot with you today. That was really our intention, so hopefully that worked out. Before I start, I would really like to thank my fellow organizers. You were an amazing team to work with, so thank you for that. I also have a tiny, small something for you, and we'll do that at the end. Right, so I'm Carmen. You can find me on Twitter under Carmen Popoviciu. You've also probably seen me running around today like a crazy Kermit, trying to fix everything. I work at ING, and I am also one of the Dutch AngularJS group organizers. Yeah, and that's my very creative Twitter name. Ooh, yeah, that's it. Cool. And we're missing the smiley, Alexandra. It's very important. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Cool. So I want to give you a bit of a context of the keynote. So when Lammert proposed to me that I do the end keynote, I was like, what should I talk about? So these past couple of days, I was working on it. I was working on the slides. I was working on ideas, and like really just before I started, I actually sat down on my couch in my living room, and I was thinking, because the idea was that I would give a talk about community, and then I was thinking, okay, so what does the community mean to me? What would I like to speak about? What does it represent? Because, well, being one of the Dutch AngularJS organizers, and with our group emphasizing a lot the community itself, it really got me thinking, because sometimes you just do things out of inertia, and sometimes you don't take a moment to take a breath in and breathe out and think about what does this all mean. So I actually did that for this keynote. And so everything that I will be talking about tonight is really how I experience the AngularJS community. It's about the people that I've met on my way, along the way. It's people that have inspired me. I also want to talk about the community, what it means, but also what I would like to see in a community. So, yeah, that's why this talk is entitled, let's try it, Alexandra. It's entitled NG People. We're getting there. And I actually have to give you a small hint about how we got to that NG People. Plus one extraordinary lady. Yeah, that's the title. Okay, so let me just very quickly tell you a bit about my story, like how I got into the Angular world. It started back in 1983 when I was born. No. No. So it actually started a couple of years ago. I was working for a company, and we were migrating a product to HTML and JavaScript. I know, don't throw stuff at me. And so we were looking for solutions out there, like what could we use, what would be best, what makes sense to us. And one of my colleagues, he ran into AngularJS and he said, well, this looks cool. Let's give it a try. So I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And yeah, and then the rest was history. Like, we started using it and we fell in love with it immediately. It was like, it made life so easy. And for me personally, because I was coming from a big spaghetti world of JavaScript and jQuery and everything, I was like, oh, yes, this makes fun. This is like, it's finally cool to program. It feels like I'm actually programming again. So we fell in love with it immediately. And I would really like to thank him. You can find him on Twitter as BoteApp. It actually means something in Dutch. But I would like to thank him for making that choice. I would also like to thank him for inspiring me for the 2 years that we worked together. I really learned a lot from him. I know he doesn't take the credit, but I wouldn't really be here if we wouldn't have worked together. So thank you, BoteApp. And also thank you to Greg. He was our designer, and we were a really cool team together. So yeah, thank you for that. Also, while I was working with these guys, because we were really in the beginnings of Angular, so the community itself was not as big as it is now. So we had troubles like finding answers to our questions, and yeah, like Dave said, we ran into a lot of things and made a lot of mistakes, and yeah, so we were trying to find our way out, and then at a certain point I was like, yeah, you know, it would be really nice if here in the Netherlands we could just like meet other people who work on Angular and we can share our experiences and actually ask some questions to real people instead of looking in front of the screen. And then that's actually when somebody on G+, it was Thijs, right? He wrote on G+, hey, are there any people from the Netherlands who would like to, I don't know, do an Angular meetup or something? And then you reacted, Sander, and then I immediately reacted. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. It sounds like a cool idea. So yeah, we should really go for it. And we did it. And we actually started. Actually, Thijs was then dropped out, but then, yeah, immediately. But then it was me and Sander that were left. And then, yeah, we hit it off. And I'm really happy we did that. It's been like more than a year ago. And yeah, and we're really almost 2 years now. Wow. So yeah, time flies by, huh? But I'm really happy we did that because we met a lot of people, and we're really trying every time to have people to share their knowledge and to really help other people not make the same mistakes that we did in our projects, for instance. I'm currently working at ING. I am part of Team Fruit Loops. Where is Team Fruit Loops? Fruit Loops? Raise your hands, Fruit Loops. Yes, Fruit Loops, hi. So I have the most amazing colleagues, my Fruit Loops mates. It's Remco and Misha and Henk and Rick. They're the most amazing guys. I could not wish for a better team. They inspire me every day, and they obviously, we really have a thing for naming stuff, ergo the Fruit Loops. You don't want to know the other names that we've come up with for the things that we're working on, but they're really amazing guys, and they inspire me every day, and they're very passionate about what they're doing, and I'm thankful to be working with them. And we also have Yoon. She's not here. She's our manager, but she's this very sweet person, and yeah, if I ever become a manager in my lifetime, which I actually don't really want to, I'm fine being a developer. I like what I'm doing. But yeah, well, never say never. But if it ever happens to me, I would really like to be like her. She's an amazing person, and she solves problems in an amazing way. So it's very inspiring to be with her. Right, so that's about my background. Let's get to the NG people that I mentioned earlier. So I just want to very quickly name a few names of people that I have met along my way that I think are fantastic people. And I'm actually going to start with Aaron. He's there. So I met Aaron at NGConf. We exchanged a few emails. I was trying to get to NGConf last year, and well, I had to get visas and everything, so well, it was a bit of a uncertainty whether I can make it or not. And then Aaron was super amazing. He replied to my emails and said, yeah, you know, it's fine, just fix up your visa and we'll figure everything out later. Just come and say hi if it works for you. And it actually worked, and we said hi. And then he was there at NGConf, and he was running around, and was like this big smile on his face, and he was like this big Papa bear. He was so nice. So yeah, it was really cool. And he really inspires me as an organizer, because you made up a great event, and I'm sure that the event this year is going to be as awesome as the one last year. So yeah, it's really cool. Thank you for that. Then at NGConf, we were doing this hackathon, which was my first hackathon ever. So I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And then I was super lucky enough to team up with Dave. And it was really awesome. So we were hacking on these devices called Spheros. I'm not sure if anybody heard of them. But we were together with another woman dev, and we were this really cool team. And we developed the Hokey Pokey, right? Yeah. But it was so fun. And Dave brought this like really nice energy in the team. Like he was constantly like trying stuff out and thinking aloud. And for me, because it was my first hackathon, I was like, oh wow, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to think aloud. You're also allowed not to know everything. So, but also like how you solve the problems and how you brought the team together. It was really, really cool. So that was very, very inspirational for me. And now I really love going to hackathons because of that. So thank you for that. Then there was Kent, which I actually only met now. But I have a very funny story for Kent. Because, well, I've been taking care of communicating with the speakers for NGNL. And I really have to say, Kent, that you were one of the best repliers to my emails out of everybody. So there was this email sent out for the people who made it for the talks, and there was a link there that, yeah, you got accepted, your talk got accepted, and we know this makes you happy, so you can do a happy dance on this song. And then Kent actually sent back a video with him doing the happy dance. So that was really, really awesome. And then I was like, yeah, this is the kind of spirit that I want to see. It was really like, when I saw it, it totally made my day. And that's inspiring. I find this kind of attitude really inspiring. So thank you for that. Then last year at NG Europe, I met Pavel. Yeah. And I have to say that even though I know him for very tiny little, he's very dear to me because despite the fact that he's a very smart person, he's also a very humble person, and he's a very open and inclusive person. And for me, that's yeah, it's like a treasure. You don't find that everywhere. So it's very inspiring to see that. So thank you, Pavel. No, it's okay. And then there are two guys who are not in this room. One is Michal. Michal, I hope you hear this. And also Andy Jocelyn, who I also met at NG Europe. And I have a very funny story about them. Actually, after NG Europe, we were all in Paris, and well, we were hungry, so we went to eat something, and then we were like, okay, what to do? We're in Paris, what to do? And then eventually, oh, okay, let's go to the Eiffel Tower. So, so we were there like very late in the evening, and it was with the two of them and another colleague of Michal. So the four of us were we actually walked for a whole hour to Eiffel Tower just to get there to see the doors close in our face. But then also on the way, we were talking a lot and we were making a lot of jokes. And both Michael and Andy are these super, super smart guys, but they have so much energy and they have so much positivity in them. It's just such a pleasure to be around them. And actually, that's the moment when we came up with the concept of NG people. Like we had this NG Duo directive, and then Andy came to me and he said, you know, NG Duo is not right. You should do NG people. That makes total sense. So that's also the context of NG people. But yeah, they're very inspiring, and I thank them for that. Then there was Olivier, who I met also at NG Europe. We were taking these pictures of superheroes. And he was really cool. So he came to us and he said, okay, I have this idea, so I'm going to pose like this and like this. So we took the pictures of him and we created an animated GIF. And then he came to me and said, you know, I thought about it and I have another idea. Can we do it one more time? And then he did this pose with the, yeah, Alexandra is drawing it right now. So he did this pose with the angular shield, and it was really cool. Like, he was so into it, and then he was so enthusiastic about everything. It was like this one big smiley sunshine around us. So that is very nice to see. It's really, really nice to see. So thank you for that. And last but not least, there is a very special person in this room. We met more than a year ago. He was one of my guests at the Dutch AngularJS meetups. He was actually the one who, well, sort of blew my mind, because he was working on this Angular Translate project, and then I was watching the community, and then it was like Angular Translate here, Angular Translate there, Angular Translate there. It was like he was all over the place. So we were, by coincidence, doing something with translations in AngularJS. So I said, okay, well, this library is all over the place, so maybe it's a good idea to invite this guy over. And so I wrote this email. I was very shy to ask him because he was not in the Netherlands. So I was like, okay, let's see how it works out. And then very quickly he replies like, yes, I'm coming, I want to come. So I was like, wow, okay, that was quickly, that was fast. So yeah, so he came and he gave the talk, and it was really amazing. And he actually, up to this day, he says that he owes it to me that he's speaking at conferences, and then I actually say the same back to him, and then we go into this infinite loop that never, ever, ever ends. But he inspires me every time I meet him, because he really wants to help people, and he's very open to all the people, no matter how new or how old you are to Angular or to whatever. He's not afraid to ask questions. He's not afraid to admit that he doesn't know everything, and I think that is rare, and that is very inspiring every day. So thank you for that. I want to speak a little bit about the community, at least about the community that I would like to see. First of all, I just want to remind you that all of you here and all the engineers and developers are there. You're really amazing people. It's not just because you're smart, but because you're driven by passion. And you get to do that every day. And you have this power to solve problems and to innovate and to create solutions every day, every single day in your work. And I think that is very precious. So, and you all work for the same goal, to make things better. So please don't forget that. It's really, really precious. Don't take it for granted. The community that I want to see is a community where people help each other. I think that's the most important thing. If there is one thing that I really don't like to see, or that I really, really hate, is that people are mean to each other, or even worse, that they bash each other. and that's not right. Don't do that. It's completely unproductive. It's not right to make to put people down. I really want to see people come together to help each other. Some people know some things better, and some people know other things less. But that's why we're here, to help each other, to make things better. So keep that in mind. I would also like to see people supporting each other. It also comes down to what I spoke earlier. It's really important to all support the things that the others are doing and also support us in the process of learning. I would also like to see a community where people are open to each other, that they're open to ideas, that they're open to other people, that the people are inclusive to everybody, that you are welcoming everybody. I would also like to see a community where people are able to ask questions in a constructive way, and also that they are able to solve problems in a constructive way. I think that is very important. Negativity will never lead to anything. If you're constructive about it, yeah, you have higher chances of getting somewhere. Actually, my mother says that it takes the same effort to be mean to a person or to smile to a person. And I think you get further by smiling to the person rather than being grumpy at the person. I would also like to see a community where people are positive-minded. I think it's very easy to only look at the dark side of things. I think it's more productive if you stay focused on the more positive side of the things. And whatever it is there that is negative, we can always fix it. But we will never fix it if we just concentrate on, oh yeah, this is wrong, this is bad. That will really not take us anywhere. I would also like to see a community where people share their knowledge. That's actually one of our strongest beliefs with the Dutch AngularJS group. It's also one of the reasons why we exist today, because we want people to learn from each other. And I think that's actually the best way to learn, by learning from your peers. And that is very valuable. But of course, we live on this planet, not in Carmen's world. So of course, there's always something that goes wrong. There's always, of course, difference of opinions, which is actually not a bad thing per se, as long as people are able to be constructive about how they verbalize their differences of opinions. There's also, you probably all know, there's also a lot of negativity around, and sometimes people ask me, hey, what do you think about this article that bashes Angular and things like that? Yeah, what can I think of that? Where does that lead us? Yeah, it's so unconstructive. It's okay to have a different opinion, but just be constructive about how you put that out there, and then it's okay. I mean, all these people that are here, and also the core group, they really want to help, and they're really listening. So with the same effort, you can just say things in a more constructive way, I would say. That would make the whole of a difference. I also want to say that please don't forget that a community does not have owners. The community owns itself, and the community should stay and be brandless. Of course, the community has community leaders, in the sense that these are persons that actively bring the community people together. And also, as a community leader, I think that the most important things you should focus on is encourage the members and support the people and guide them and inspire them. So yeah. I'm going to quickly finish. So, oh yeah, it's cool. Yeah, nice. All these things happened behind me. So the title of the talk was NG People plus One Extraordinary Lady. And everybody who knew the title of the talk asked me, so who's the lady? That's actually my grandmother. There was this small inside joke that when I went to study dance, she said that if I ever become a famous choreographer, when I give my first speech or thank you speech when getting an award, I should thank her for that. And you can see that, well, that went very well. But nonetheless, I wanted to include her because she always said to me that you have to be respectful towards all the people and you have to be kind to all the people. And that is something to which I try to hold true every day. So I want to thank her for that. And before I finish, I actually want to let Alexandra do something. Hoping that that's how we will all grow as a community. Thank you.